you could tell she's struggling. It does hurt her, but obviously we got to get this foot taken care of. Most of the time I say in my videos, oh, this doesn't hurt or that doesn't hurt, but this actually is hurting her, because what I'm asking her to do is I'm asking her to put all of her weight onto her bad foot or bad leg. But she's leaning on me quite a bit, and you can tell I'm starting to breathe pretty hard, because I'm basically holding up this half of her body because she's not wanting to put it on that other foot, so I'm having to hold it up, and she's fighting me quite a bit, which is understandable because it doesn't feel good. But we got to get this foot taken care of, or this foot's going to end up in worse shape than the other foot, and this one will be her problem. So, we just got to kind of fight through it and get it done. And also, I'm trying to just go as fast as I can so she doesn't have to stand on that foot for very long. It's not going to be as pretty of a job, but it's just trying to get the length off of there and get a good functional trim so she can feel better on this foot. Okay, so let's talk about what causes ring bone or arthritis in the pastern joint. It's pretty similar to what causes arthritis in all other mammals, ourselves included. Basically, like I mentioned, these horses are 20 years old, and so just with age, we all get arthritis in some places with age. So just the wear and tear on our bodies that life puts on us. Also, if they have bad conformation or something that's causing there to be a lot of concussion in that joint, that can also cause ring bone, like a straight up and down pastern, where instead of the fetlock taking the shock absorption, it's just coming down and beating on that joint space and ends up making that cartilage mad, ends up turning into arthritis. So also an external injury, something gets caught on the fetlock or something like that, that can cause arthritis. In terms of what can be done about it with a vet, so they can actually go in and fuse this joint. There's only two joints in a horse's leg. One's in the hind limb in the hock. It's one of the small joints in the hock. And also this one, it can actually be fused. Because it's such a low motion joint, it doesn't move a whole lot. The other joints on the coffin joint and the fetlock joint move a little extra when you fuse them and make up the difference. And it can actually, horses can go back to being sound. If they're a young horse, they could potentially go back to full work. So with this horse, we'll talk to the vet, see what they want to do. Okay, guys, I think I've regurgitated all the information I know about ring bone to you guys. If there's something I didn't cover or a question you have, just make sure and go down in the comments, ask away, and we'll try to get it answered for you. Remember, if you do ask a question, make sure and let us know where you're from. Kind of makes it fun to read through the comments. Okay, as we move back here to the back feet, you can see they're not quite as overgrown as the front feet, just the way she carries herself. She must trim up a little bit. You can see what I'm cutting out right there with the nippers. That's what I call false sole. It's just a ton of retained false sole there. Just gets built up. I could go at it with my knife, but remember, I'm down here in Arizona in the middle of summer, and it's pretty dry, and those feet are hard, and so it's easier for me. It's a trick if you're a farrier. I carry a smaller pair of nippers. You could use a pair of half-round nippers and just get in there, get that sole, and get it out. Just make sure not to cut too deep, because then you'll have blood everywhere. But anyway, just get in there, get that retained sole out of there, and then work it after that with your knife. Kind of something I have a lot of people comment about, and I don't know where it comes from, but a lot of people they ask me why I'm hitting the frog, because they think the frog is sensitive. And as you can see right there, there's nothing more. The frog's not any more sensitive than the rest of the foot. So when you're cleaning out your horse's feet, go ahead and get in there with your hoof pick. It actually needs to be cleaned out the best right there, because that's where the thrush will build up, is in there with the frog. And you can see I take and shape it up with my knife, and if the horse could feel that, it would let me know. So the frog's not any more sensitive than any other part of the foot. I'm not sure where that myth comes from, but it's definitely made out of a different material, but it's not more sensitive. So, and if your horse's frog is sensitive, it probably means you got some thrush problems or something like that. So make sure and address that if you do find that it is sensitive, but it should not be for a normal, good, healthy horse. Something you'll notice is she actually does really good when I'm trimming these hinds. It's just that right front that really gives her problems with the ring bone, just because she has to put all of her weight on her bad foot. But when I'm doing these hinds, she does actually pretty well. One thing I am doing to help her out, which might go unnoticed, is my hoof cradle has two settings. There's a real tall setting and a short setting. And on little horses or on just older horses, their just range of motion doesn't work as good as it used to. And so I'll use that lower setting. You can see when I was moving from one hind foot to the other, it's on a lower setting. And you'll notice in other videos I use the higher setting. It makes it a little harder on me when I'm using that lower setting, but it makes the horses a lot more comfortable and stuff. So it's kind of a tip. If you have horses that are kind of being in pain, sometimes if you just lower it down and make it more comfortable for them, they'll make it a lot easier on you. So something I forgot to mention is how you trim a horse with ring bone to help it out. And right here in a second, I'm going to show you a side profile of the front foot that has ring bone. So basically what you do is you put a pretty mean rocker on the front of that foot, which what that does is helps there be more motion between the ground and the foot as the horse steps, and less motion in the joint, because what makes arthritis hurt is when that joint moves. And so if you can make that joint move less and make the motion be between the foot and the ground and not in the joint space, then the horse is going to be more comfortable.